Alright, so I didn't do any recording yesterday, but I did get a little bit of work done. I only worked for a few hours. I started working on getting the shifter in, a little bit of the center console done. You can see I got a couple of tubes here, got the factory shifters mounted to it. I still need to do some trimming on those to get them to work, but you can kind of see how I've reused that. I'm going to be able to reuse the little mini console that that I had from the factory. That way I can, you can see where what gear you're in. But for the shift linkage on the transfer case, I'm using the cable shifter kit from Novak Adapters. I couldn't use the little, I don't know what you call it, cable guide or whatever that goes with that goes on the body side. So I ended up making my own to work, and man, it was tight in here. That shifter cable is, I mean, I wish it was a little bit longer so I get a little more flex out of it, but but it seems to fit in there pretty good. And I'll kind of get it here and I'll run it through the gears real quick. Okay, hopefully you can see this. You got, now we're in neutral, the output spinning. We got four-wheel drive high, neutral, and then four-wheel drive low. And it works pretty good. Like I said, I gotta clean up the way I've got this whole thing rigged up on here to hold in. I couldn't find a aftermarket shifter for the transfer case that worked. There were some universal kits out there, but I didn't like the way they looked, and I don't have a bezel just for the transfer case shifter. So I'm gonna reuse the stock shifter for the transmission and the transfer case, and then use a little mini console. It'll set right over it, and I guess I don't have it sitting over here, so I can't show you how that goes on there. But so that's what I got done yesterday. I'm gonna today work on a little bit more in here. I need to get the exhaust running under the passenger seat, and then do a little bit for the floor so that I can have a floor in here and then get that done. All right, so I'm working on the floor now. I went ahead and I kind of set the exhaust in place on the passenger side, and there's gonna be plenty of room for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the floor structure here. I've got this piece cut. It's gonna hook up to it'll weld to this part of the boat side, where I got the little lines on here. It'll come across just here. So this will be kind of where you have your foot, but it'll end up with a full floor on here in the end. But I'll just get this kind of lined up here, tack it on, and I'll set in the seat and make sure that yeah, it is where I want it to be. All right. You can see I've got my boot rested right here. The floor will be about that level, and that's just about where I want it. So that's gonna be good. I'll go ahead and kind of clean up that little tank a little bit, put a couple more on there to hold it, and then do the passenger side. Actually, I'm gonna finish. I need to put a piece here and off onto the center console, but then we'll go mirror it on the passenger side. But that looks like it's gonna work. Okay, I got the next part of the floor structure cut and welded in. I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in place. This part's tacked in. Next piece to do is gonna be a little cross piece that comes up to about right there. I can't go straight up on this one just because of the shifter here. So it'll kind of come back about like that. Okay, so I've got the tube that's going to go from here to here done. And this is probably one of the most difficult parts about doing this fabrication stuff, is I've got a notch here, a notch here, and a notch here. That's 3 notches in one tube. None of the notches are on the same plane, and none of them are the same angle. But if you get it right, you can see how well it just fits into place. It took, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to get this piece done, but it looks good once it's done. And then we just get it tacked into place. So that's what I wanted to get done for the driver's side here. Now I need to go back and mimic all this stuff on the passenger side. And I guess one little hint I'll give whenever I make these is that this line right here, so I knew what this angle of the notch had to be, but I didn't know, I wasn't quite sure how far down it needed to go. So I started notching it right on the edge. And then I drew this line and I made a mark on the notcher as well, so that I could orient it back into the notcher the same way, and I just move down it a little bit further until I got the notch where I wanted it to be. Alright, I'm over here working on this little upright piece with the 3 notches in it for the passenger side. And I was kind of show you what I was talking about, where I put a little reference sign on the tube and on the notcher to go back and fine tune the notches when I don't know what the distance is. I need to notch it further and further into the tube. So I've got this little silver mark here, and then a long black line here, and that's what I'm using. Alright, so I'm working on the exhaust right now. You can see I've got a brand new front pipe on here, just using the factory style one. Comes up, it comes to a flange that I've got, it's going to mount over here, right over the transmission cross member. It's just the flange that comes on the front pipe, and then I cut the old flange off the old front pipe, and I got them bolted together with a tab on here, a couple tabs to hold it in place. And then I've got the muffler. It's going to come out right here by the links, and then I need to run the pipe all the way to the back. So what I've done here is I've got this thing at full droop, and then I'm going to get a bend that comes out right here and comes up and over. I just need this at full droop so it'll I can check for clearance. But I'm going to get that little bend made up, and then I'll drop it back down to finish it out. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be using for the bends on the exhaust. It's just a 2.5 inch piece from Jegs. It's got the J bend in it and a 45 degree. I'm going to try this 45 degree piece to come right out of the muffler, and then after that I'll look, see what else I need to do. I got 2 of these. I think I can get by with both of them to a 45 and a 45. Then out the back, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so here's the exhaust most of the way done. I need to go through, and I still need to weld up that flange that connects the front pipe to the muffler, and then go through, and I'm going to clean up these welds a little bit because I'm going to paint this. It's going to be kind of exposed, so I figured I'd paint it with some header paint or something. See how long it lasts. Unfortunately, I had a plastic bag sitting on the welding table when I was welding it, and it melted to the pipe, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Hopefully I can get that, should be able to clean it off with some, like a wire brush or something. But yeah, here's what the exhaust looks like. It comes out right by the coilover is where it kind of turns down a little bit and exits out. Should be good. I'm using these little body panel tabs, little trick tabs, whatever you want to call them, to hold the exhaust on back here. And I'll use a clamp at the muffler. I'm not gonna weld it into the muffler. I don't know how easy this thing's gonna be put together if I have it welded in there, so it'll be separate. The exhaust, I guess, will be in 3 pieces. You have the front pipe, the muffler, and the tailpipe. Next, I'm probably going to start working on coolant lines. So I've kind of got I started on the making templates for the firewall. I'm not going to be able to reuse the factory throttle cable. See, it's kind of short. It doesn't make it to the firewall. So I'm just going to get one of the low car kits and use it. About $60, but it'll work great for this. You can cut them to length. Hopefully, I'll probably do that next weekend. I'll have to order it. Tried to find one locally, but I couldn't get one. We'll see if it's actually quicker than how the exhaust worked out. Today it took me, I don't know, it took me a couple hours to do, but maybe a little more than that. But I did cycle the suspension. There's no issues, no rubbing, so we're gonna be good.